struggle to always go past the City Kickboxing boys. I'm a bit biased. I've trained there, but I know how hard they train and how hard they work. But I think Dan gets back in the win column. I know he's had a few losses lately, but they've been against, the best of the best. They've been against the top pretty much five guys in the division. He's fighting a younger guy. He's going well in the UFC, but he's definitely nowhere near as experienced as Dan. And yeah, I think it's a good fight for Dan after coming off a couple of losses. And I think he's going to show he's a really good fighter. And I think he gets the win on Saturday. I'm a little biased because Chris Katera is from Factory X, the gym I've been training at. So obviously going to be going with him. But Frank is a legend, but he's 41 years old now. You see in his last, I think he's been knocked out 3 times in his last 4 or 5 fights. And yeah, you can just kind of see when they get to that age, they've just kind of passed it. So I'm happy it's his retirement fight. But Chris, he's an awesome fighter. He had his first fight in the UFC and that was his only loss. It was a short notice fight, and he had a loss, and then he won 3, had a draw, and then he's won another 3. So he's 6-1-1 in the UFC. Young guy coming up, and he's a beast. And I think he gets it done. And unfortunately for Frankie, I think he probably knocks him out. I hate to see Frankie. I love Frankie. I hate to see him get knocked out, but I think Frankie's lost his chin in his last few fights. And I think Chris gets it done by KO. Yeah, this Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler, I reckon this will be fight of the night. Safe bet on that. These guys are so exciting, and I reckon this will steal the show. I'm going with Dustin. I can't kind of go past him. He's such a good fighter. He's been around. Michael Chandler's tough and exciting. He is like 2-2 in the UFC, so he hasn't had that many fights. And I think, Dustin's experience, he's fought a lot of really good guys, and his boxing's been looking really good. Like, he looks so good his last couple of fights against Conor McGregor, knocking him out. I think he gets it done. I don't know if he'll finish him. Michael Chandler's tough, as you've seen that he gets rocked and he kind of comes back. And I think it's going to be a bit of a war. So I think it will go the distance, and it's going to be like a fight of the night sort of fight. But yeah, I'm going to go with Dustin Poirier for that one. It's not often where the champ's like a huge underdog, but I kind of understand Whaley's a beast, and I don't know if you just saw, there was a video of her picking up Francis Ngannou, who's like 200. He said he was 295 pounds at the time, and she like picked him up like a single leg, like it was nothing. It was crazy, but yeah, I'm going with Weili for that fight for sure. She has looked so good in the last few fights, and she's just so strong. I don't think the wrestling from Carla will be able to. I don't think she'll be able to get Carla will be able to get her down, and Carla's like good wrestler, but her striking isn't that good. And I think Weili is going to be able to put it on her. She's so strong, and she won't. I think she'll be fine with the wrestling with her purely because of her strength, and she's a good grappler as well. And within the 5 rounds, I reckon she's going to knock her out. Yeah, huge title fight. There's a lot of drama with Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira, mainly because of, if people don't know, they've fought each other twice before in kickboxing, and Alex Pereira won both fights, and now everyone kind of thinks that's going to transfer over to the MMA fight, and he's going to get it done. If you watch those fights, Israel lost the first by decision. Everyone thought, or lots of people thought, that Israel won that fight. Like, it was a very, like, people thought it was a robbery. And then the second fight, Israel was looking really good again. Pereira, he got the standing 8 count, which you don't get in MMA, and then he came back and knocked Israel out after that. So just because he won those 2 fights, it wasn't like as dominant as everyone kind of thinks it was when they're not actually watching the fights. Obviously, I fought Israel back in his debut with the UFC, and since then I've gone and trained at his camp a couple of times, and spent a bit of time with him training down in New Zealand. Obviously, he's a super good striker. He's fighting another really good high-level striker, but I think Israel gets it done. He's so elusive. He's so quick and uses so many feints and looks, and he's so good at like hitting without getting hit. Where Alex Pereira is a really good kickboxer, but he's more of a power hitter. He comes forward, and if he hits you, definitely you feel it, and he knocks people out. But we haven't seen Israel get knocked out in MMA, and I think he's going to be just too elusive and kind of pick Alex apart. And I think he's going to pick him apart. I don't think he's going to finish him, I'd like to see it, but I'm not sure if he's going to finish him. Maybe in the later rounds, in the 4th or 5th. But otherwise, I reckon Israel by decision.